Dashboards are your friend. If they're not already, then they need to be, and quick. What to put in them is what we're going to talk about today. Patrick here from Founder Revenue Academy, and we've helped hundreds of B2B startups grow and scale, and without dashboards, how to set them up, how to use them, and report on them is, I'm afraid, something that as a founder you need to understand. That means tracking the right metrics to fuel your growth. But let's be honest, there's a ton of data out there and it's easy to get lost. That's why I'm here to share the top 7 KPIs I think you should understand and therefore will be able to report on. First, conversations completed. This one's a no-brainer, I think, but you may not have heard of it described like this. A completed conversation can be understood as the intended recipient answered the phone, heard who you are, why you're calling, and have subsequently responded. And then of these completions, how many does it take to land a meeting? I notice a reluctance from those doing outbound calling because there is the idea that if you somehow do not get a meeting, this is a failure. This is empirically wrong because a meeting is one disposition. A conversation that also yields a no not now, no not me, or a no not ever is still a success because you're using conversations to shape your market and build follow-ups for later the year. So this is key. Next up is meetings attended. I say meetings attended and not scheduled because clearly you want people actually turning up to these meetings. There are tactics to make sure prospects turn up, and within this metric you're going to know your show up rate. For example, you set 10 meetings and 7 attend, you have a 70% meeting show rate, and in B2B we want to achieve and remain at around 80%. Next up is opportunities created. So how many of these meetings turn it into opportunities? As a benchmark, I would say perhaps 1 in 3. And then how many opportunities do you need to hit your goal? Again, benchmark 4 times coverage. You're not going to close everything, and there is typically a 25% close rate. So doing the maths, if your solution costs £10,000 and you have a goal of £100,000 in the year, I would suggest you need to create £400,000 of opportunity to hit your goal. Next is cycle management. So there are 2 to think of here. One is leads to opportunity created, and then opportunity created to closed won. A lead is a person and an opportunity is a business. For both, we want to reduce the days to as few as possible. But for opportunity created to closed won, the average order value, or the higher the average order value, the longer the sales cycle. But knowing what it is in days is where you want to get to. And that goes for both those, lead to opportunity and opportunity to closed won. Next up is monthly recurring revenue, or you might have heard it described as MRR. For your subscription-based B2B companies, this is your bread and butter. It's the revenue you can count on from your existing customers every month, and to get your MRR, multiply the total number of customers by your average revenue per customer per month. Keep an eye on this one and you can spot trends and seize opportunities for growth. Next up is customer acquisition cost, or CAC as its acronym. This one's all about how much it costs you to bag a new customer. It's simple maths. Your total sales and marketing spend over a period of time divided by the number of customers you've gained. Got your number? Great. Now use it to make smart decisions about your sales and marketing strategy. Next up is lifetime value, or LTV. This one's all about the big picture. It's the total revenue a customer brings in over their lifetime. It's a big deal because it shows the value of keeping customers around for the long haul. So track your LTV and you can tweak your strategy to boost customer retention. And given you have both your CAC and your LTV, you can now be really fancy and talk about LTV to CAC ratios, for which you need to be around 3 to 1 ideally. Put simply, if it costs £1 to acquire a customer, they need to stick long enough to yield £3 worth of value, so keep hold of them. And there you have it, my top 7 KPIs for B2B founders. Keep these metrics in your sight and you'll be making savvy data-driven decisions in no time. And remember, it's not just about gathering the data, it's about using that data to drive results. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you find this info as valuable as I do creating it. If you did, perhaps you'd consider subscribing or following us to keep up to date. We upload videos like this about 4 times a week.